Without a fail, Equinix invests billions of dollars every year in maintaining its portfolio, making it one of the largest colocation providers in the world. Recently appointed Eugene Bergen, the new EMEA president for the company, talks to me now on the company's expansion strategy and the future vision for the industry. Eugene, thanks for talking to me.
It's a pleasure.
You've been with Equinix for about 6 years. You were in a sales role before, managing some sales, and you tripled sales by 3 times in EMEA alone.
Right.
And now you're the EMEA president. How have you seen the market change since you joined Equinix?
I would say it has accelerated a lot. The best example I've given is if you look at the recent public results, we had a stellar Q4, record Q4. We had a record Q1. And typically when you have a record Q1 after a record Q4, it means that you're up for a good year. And that why I tell you that is not to point out how great Equinix is, but it says a lot about the potential of this market. We see hyperscalers actually accelerating in growth. The transition to cloud, but you also have factors like artificial intelligence, 5G, Internet of Things, that all of that is accelerating data exchange, cloud growth, and applications moving to the edge where the action is.
Okay. Well, it is interesting that you mentioned the current results because it's June the 5th as we record the interview, and one of your grade for investment has gone up by 6.34% this morning. So the results seem to be impressing the analysts.
That's too bad. It's too bad it wasn't after our interview, because then I could claim why that was.
I'm sure this is going to put them up by 10%. But in terms of expansion and the market expansion, so we did have a $2 billion expansion project announced recently. Of course, it's a global budget for the expansion project. But do you want to talk us through what's happening in Europe with those $2 billion?
Yeah, okay. We have 35 expansions going on in parallel. So it basically means we're building everywhere all the time. And we are looking always to expand by acquisition. I would say we're going to focus more on strategic geographies. One of the reasons was that we acquired Economy. We believe that market is strategic, and we'll talk about it in a second. But we're definitely looking at areas like Africa where we are not yet. And I would say secondly, we're looking at areas where we can acquire high connectivity density sites. Equinix is not so much a data center provider, but it's a connectivity site. So where the internet connects is where Equinix is.
Okay, you said quite a lot of things that I want to follow up. So let's start with the Economy. They've recently acquired, I think that was probably your latest largest acquisition in the continent. Yes. What are you doing in that market? Because you got 2 data centers in Portugal, you got 3 in Spain, I believe. It was a 5 data center portfolio. What's the plan to expand in those 2 markets?
Yeah, I know you're from Portugal, so you will love this. It has been one of the really great acquisitions, and first of all, obviously because of the markets. Portugal is a big landing station. Spain obviously is a big potential market for Equinix. But what I love about that, specifically about this acquisition, is actually the team. They are so energized and so gung-ho to grow the business. And it translates into results. So they've been very successful quarter over quarter to deliver. There's always a challenge, of course, when you acquire an asset to integrate the asset, to have them understand the culture. But both these 2 countries have been just so impressive by delivering because of the energy and the momentum that is going on there.
Okay. So can we see some organic builds there?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
And then when you mention Africa, what sort of markets are you looking at for Africa?
Africa obviously is early stage. Definitely South Africa. Okay. I would say that's the primary focus. But it is obviously a continent that is developing in a big way, and I think we're early in the phase, but you could see a big acceleration there. And then I expect we will also look at other countries. Okay.
What sort of timeline are you talking about? When can we see the first Equinix hub?
I wish it worked like that. When you do acquisitions, there is an element of, is there an opportunity? If there isn't, then It's difficult. So it's really about, on one hand, it's priority setting and it's opportunity. So I'm not able to give you any sensible date for that.
The next 10 years. That's for sure.
For sure, I would say, yes.
All right, and then in terms of tier 2 cities, with all this edge conversation that goes around in the industry, and Equinix is also involved in the edge, what's the strategy to expand in tier 2 cities to also sort of the edge movement?
Now, first of all, Equinix has a very high coverage if you compare it to any competitor. If you look at Europe, we are already in 16 countries, and that goes from the big markets, the UK, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Paris, to also markets like Turkey, Bulgaria, Portugal, Dubai, Oman, etc. So we have a really good coverage already. But obviously, again, opportunistically, we are looking at expanding that. But as I said, I specifically would say we will be looking at high connectivity, density, dense opportunities. Because Equinix is where the internet connects. I always say, to give you a number, 90% of the internet traffic runs through one of Equinix IBXs.
And is that the reason why you also launched recently the Network Edge?
Well, that's of course for two reasons. Yes, we're all about connectivity, but I would also say it's a trend in the market because of artificial intelligence. We will see more distribution of apps because of self-driving cars, IoT. There's so much data flowing that there's no way you can do that centrally in the future. We still can. But with 5G, we will see that is going to accelerate in a way that you have to move to the edge. And what Equinix there is actually what we're doing is now offering a virtual way, a virtual network way to connect to where you want to be.
Okay, and in terms of the industry as a whole, not just Equinix, what would you say is the biggest challenge that the sector faces? Is it renewable energy? Is it talent shortages?
If you would have asked me that like 6 months ago, I would probably give a different answer, but frankly it is to cope with the growth.
What would be the answer 6 months ago?
I have to think about that. But why I'm saying it is we see such a dramatic acceleration of the hyperscalers. The plans that they're presenting in terms of their expansions are just, are unbelievable.
Okay. We are at Data Cloud 2019 in Monaco. What would you say a conference like this is still important?
Well, what I love about this conference, I've met at least 5 companies that we're going to have successive meetings with. Very interesting on the side of energy efficiency. I met a company that we're definitely going to look into that. It's a tremendous way of meeting everybody who's relevant in the industry.
Okay.
That's what I would say there.
Okay, thanks a lot, Eugene.
Pleasure.
Don't forget you can follow Data Economy on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter and Instagram, and also visit the website on www.data-economy.com.